You know, for me, I lost a lot of time because of this league and committing to this league, being on the road at times, missing a lot of his things, Bryce's things, Zuri's things. So to be able to have this moment where I'm working still and I can work alongside my son, it's one of the greatest gifts I've ever got from the man.
What have been some of the preliminary conversations you've had with your father about what's expected in the NBA and what you can expect to hear and see once you start playing?
You know, we haven't gone too deep into that stuff yet.
The internet has a cruel sense of humor, but when the mockery turned to Bronny James, it crossed a line that LeBron James was never going to ignore. For weeks, his son has been the target of viral jokes, brutal memes, and whispers that he doesn't belong. But what happened behind closed doors at the Lakers facility wasn't just a father protecting his son. It was a superstar demanding action. And now, the Lakers are facing the toughest roster decisions of their season, with LeBron pushing them to make moves that could change everything.
That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard.
Tonight, was there any thought at all that this could have been your last game with the Lakers?
I'm not going to answer that. Appreciate it.
It started as a single tweet. Then came the screenshots. Then the memes. By the time the viral wave crested, Bronny James had become the internet's favorite punching bag. Through 27 games in the 2025-26 campaign, the 19-year-old guard was averaging 1.9 points and 1.1 assists per game, modest numbers that reflect limited opportunities on a deep and competitive Lakers roster. Naturally, that kind of stat line sparked chatter, but the chatter quickly turned cruel. Bronny James doesn't even care about basketball. Nepo Kid of the Year. Only in the NBA because of Daddy. The comments stung, but one viral post in early February 2026 pushed things too far. A social media account claimed the Lakers were considering waiving Bronny to open up their 15th roster spot, suggesting the team was hesitant only because they didn't want to upset LeBron. The post spread like wildfire, and suddenly every sports outlet was asking the same question: is Bronny James about to be cut? The account behind the post, @PlayoffJake, wasn't a verified or credible source, and no reputable outlets echoed the claim. But the damage was done. Bronny was assigned to the G League, a standard developmental move, but the narrative had already shifted. In the court of public opinion, he was already gone. For LeBron James, watching his son become a national punchline was the final straw. The internet had made it personal, and LeBron was about to make it personal right back. Subscribe to see what happened behind closed doors.
Going about preparing for that moment. Yeah, we don't have anything planned per se in terms of commitment to do it this way. We obviously have talked about it as a staff, and we've gotten it into some specific.
Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this, right? Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view.
The Lakers' practice facility in El Segundo is usually a place of controlled calm. Film sessions, drills, media availability, all conducted with the precision of a championship organization. But on the morning of February 10th, 2026, that calm was shattered. According to team sources, LeBron James requested an emergency meeting with general manager Rob Pelinka and head coach J.J. Redick. The meeting lasted over 2 hours, far longer than any typical roster discussion. When LeBron emerged, his face was stone. The message was unmistakable. Something had to change. LeBron didn't demand that the Lakers keep Bronny out of sentiment. He demanded that they either commit to his development or let him go somewhere he could actually grow. The worst-case scenario, in LeBron's view, was this limbo, this endless cycle of G League assignments, DNP CDs, and viral mockery with no clear path forward. I wish selfishly that Bronny James would have gone to Duke or North Carolina just to get away from LA and get away from his pops and go over there and be the man, former NBA champion Jason Williams had said on a recent podcast. If he had stayed in college for 4 years, I think he'd have been a monster. Williams wasn't questioning Bronny's talent. His point was about environment and opportunity. And LeBron, for the first time, seemed to agree. The Lakers front office listened. They understood the stakes, but they also understood the math. LeBron had made his position clear, but the Lakers had their own priorities. The next chapter reveals the front office's cold calculus and the surprising player who became Bronny's biggest obstacle. Subscribe to see the numbers.
On you playing on a team with your father, and how you going to handle that pressure?
It's for sure amplified amount of pressure. I've already seen it, stuff media and stuff in the internet and stuff talking about I might not deserve an opportunity, but you know, I've been dealing with stuff like this for my whole life. So it's nothing different, but it's more amplified for sure, but I can get through it.
How much does having a young partner like Luka, a savant basketball player, how much will that weigh into your decision as you go forward with this season?
As far as how long I go in my career?
How long you can in your career, right?
Zero. The motivation.
The Lakers front office didn't build a championship contender on sentiment. They built it on data, roster flexibility, and hard decisions. And the data on Bronny James was brutally honest. Through 51 career NBA games, Bronny averaged 1.9 points and 0.9 assists, shooting 31.8% from the field and 30.2% from three. His minutes per game, 6.7, were the lowest among current Lakers on the roster. He was an engaged defender who could hold his own on the perimeter, but his offensive limitations were impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, another young guard was making waves. Kobe Bufkin, a 6'4" guard signed to a two-way deal, had played just 4 games but averaged 11.3 minutes, double that of Bronny James. He earned head coach J.J. Redick's approval for his defensive abilities. The G League game is different, so there's certain things that Zach does that are a little bit different than we do, Redick told reporters. He's really challenged him on that end. He's shown he can be engaged and guard. Bufkin's emergence gave the Lakers a decision to make. They had already filled their 15th roster spot with his signing. If they wanted to add another player, perhaps a wing like Haywood Highsmith or someone from the buyout market, someone had to go, and Bronny was the most expendable option. But there was another factor the spreadsheets couldn't capture: LeBron James's $50 million player option for next season. The Lakers were trapped between data and dynasty. Their next move would determine not just Bronny's future, but LeBron's as well. Subscribe to see the leverage play.
That also helps too. It's like, you know, you're going to learn the game the right way. You're going to play the game the right way. And I mean, his talent is obviously spoken for, but he just seems like a good kid. I mean, I don't really know him like that personally. Like I have a personal relationship with him, but he seems like a great kid. I'm pretty good.
The smirk on his face is when you catch him. But because it's against LeBron and the Lakers, he conveniently has amnesia.
LeBron James, since that Mickey Mouse championship.
Stop the Mickey Mouse.
Okay, well, it was. Most teams did.
LeBron James has spent his entire career mastering the art of leverage. His no-trade clause, his player options, his influence over roster decisions, all of it was carefully cultivated over 2 decades. And now, with his son's future hanging in the balance, that leverage was about to be tested like never before. According to multiple reports, this will be LeBron James's final season with the Los Angeles Lakers. Either the legend will retire, or he will have a farewell tour with another team, possibly the Cleveland Cavaliers, where his career began, or the Golden State Warriors in an Avengers-like team-up with decade-long rival Steph Curry. But that timeline gave the Lakers a problem. If LeBron left in the summer, they'd lose their biggest draw. If he retired, they'd lose their identity. And if he stayed, they'd have to manage the Bronny situation for another year. The Lakers held one surprising card: control over Bronny's development path. If LeBron stayed past the trade deadline, the Lakers essentially controlled where and how his son played. That was leverage, real leverage that they'd never had before. If the Lakers don't make a move by the deadline, they gain something LeBron doesn't: time. Time to wait, time to evaluate, time to reshape the narrative. They can frame patience as loyalty, slow play contract talks, and gradually shift expectations for LeBron's next deal, all without saying a word. LeBron understood this dynamic perfectly, which is why his push for roster moves wasn't just about this season. It was about sending a message. The Lakers needed to show they were committed to winning, and to Bronny if they wanted him to stay. The leverage game was in full swing, but one voice from the past added a new layer to the drama. The next chapter reveals what former Lakers ownership really thought about drafting Bronny and why it matters now. To understand the tension between LeBron and the Lakers, you have to go back to the summer of 2024. That's when the Lakers used the 55th pick in the NBA draft on Bronny James, a move that was widely seen as a symbolic moment, a chance for LeBron to play with his son for the first time in NBA history. But behind the scenes, it wasn't the feel-good story the public believed. According to ESPN's Baxter Holmes, former Lakers governor Jeannie Buss was privately frustrated with LeBron's reaction to the pick. Jeannie privately remarked that James should be grateful for such a gesture, but she felt that he wasn't, people close to the team told ESPN. The report went further. Jeannie privately grumbled about what she felt was James' outsized ego and the overt control that he and Clutch Sports exerted over the organization at times. That perceived lack of thanks didn't sit well with Buss. It added to her growing dissatisfaction with James's approach to leadership and his role in the organization's bigger decisions. What was meant to be a unifying moment instead became another data point in a growing file of tension. Now, with Mark Walter at the helm and a new front office in place, that history matters. The Lakers' current leadership didn't draft Bronny, they inherited him, and they don't feel the same emotional obligation to make it work. For LeBron, this is the ultimate irony. The very move designed to create a legacy moment has instead become a source of tension, scrutiny, and now potential separation. The history is complicated, the present is tense, and the future is uncertain. The final chapter reveals what happens next and whether Bronny James has a future in Los Angeles. The Lakers are at a crossroads. On one side sits loyalty to a legend who brought them a championship, to a young player trying to find his way, to the narrative of a father-son duo that captured the imagination of basketball fans everywhere. On the other side sits reality, the numbers, the roster limitations, the cold calculus of winning in a loaded Western Conference. Multiple reports have suggested the Lakers are considering waiving Bronny James to utilize their 15th roster spot in the buyout market. But they're weighing their options carefully, aware that any move involving LeBron's son carries consequences far beyond the basketball court. The most likely outcome? A summer separation. Lake Show Life's Tyler Watts wrote that Kobe Bufkin's signing all but guarantees Bronny James' departure in the offseason. The Lakers have shown they're comfortable signing guards off the street and playing them over Bronny. They've done it twice this season. If the Lakers elect to move on from Bronny this summer, the 21-year-old shouldn't be surprised. 2 consecutive unproductive seasons won't convince a contending franchise to keep him around. Lackluster playmaking and perimeter shooting will lead to his demise in Los Angeles if he doesn't quickly flip the script. As for LeBron, his future remains uncertain. He could stay and finish his career in purple and gold. He could return to Cleveland for a fairy tale ending. He could chase one more ring alongside Steph Curry in Golden State. Or he could simply walk away, content with a legacy that needs no further burnishing. But one thing is clear. The mockery of Bronny James lit a fire that won't easily be extinguished. LeBron pushed, the Lakers listened, and now the basketball world waits to see what happens next. The Bronny James saga is about more than basketball. It's about family, legacy, and the impossible weight of expectation. It's about a father trying to protect his son from a world that never gives second chances. And it's about a franchise trying to balance sentiment with success. Jason Williams put it best. I wish selfishly that Bronny James would have gone to Duke or North Carolina just to get away from LA and get away from his pops. The spotlight in Los Angeles is unforgiving. The shadow of LeBron is inescapable, and Bronny, through no fault of his own, has become a symbol of everything wrong with modern basketball, fairly or not. Whether he stays or goes, whether he makes it or fades away, one thing is certain. Bronny James will never have the luxury of being just another player. He'll always be LeBron's son. And in a world that never stops watching, that might be the heaviest burden of all. Was LeBron right to push the Lakers for roster moves? Should the Lakers keep Bronny or cut ties? Let us know in the comments. For more inside stories on the biggest controversies in basketball, hit subscribe.